Jill. Nicola's just disappeared, but she's promising to take it easy, aren't you, Nicola? You're just recovering. Like, movement is magic, but not if it makes our stress levels go up. So we need to be kind to ourselves and congratulate ourselves. At the moment, I'm going through this little phase of congratulating myself for everything, because I don't think we do that enough. So well done me and well done you for showing up this morning. We're all winning. Okay. Well done me for having breakfast. Well done me for a really calm morning, actually, for the kids. That's good. So while we're here doing our warm-up, I'd like you to think of three. Oh, hi, Sam. Here she is. While we're doing our warm-up, I'd like you to think of 3 things to congratulate yourself about, even if it is just turning up, putting your workout gear on. Don't mind. 3 things. I think we need to do more of that kind of thing. Start taking our arms around in a circle. I'm also very pleased that it's not raining. I had to do I always give myself a strength workout on a Wednesday morning in the garden, and I was defeated by the tropical rain and had to do it in my living room, which was frankly very boring and a bit hot. Okay, take the arms around side to side, bring a bit of movement into the spine. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. If you're watching this on catch up sometime, take the legs out wide, gently bend one knee and then the other. So today we're just continuing to build on our kind of upper and lower body strength. You've got one of my weights roll down the hill. If you've got weights or a resistance band, there will be places in which you can use them, but there's no real step to one side to the other to kick our heels. There are still wasps. Somewhere around here there is a wasp's nest. Surely we are beyond wasp time. Okay, so what was I saying? Weights and resistance bands. Oh yeah, the camera following me at the moment is a bit weird, isn't it? Okay, nice high knee march. I'm gonna make myself seasick. And then we're gonna step. So we're gonna hinge forwards and just hinge forwards and then back up again. And forwards. And then back up again. So yes, building on our upper and lower body strength. Turn the toes, they're facing inwards and hinge forwards. Get a slightly different stretch in the back of the legs, often so very tight. And then the other way. We're going to be using the upper and the lower body at the same time, which is a really good pull on our cardiovascular system as well. So, but for anyone who might be recovering from a cold or COVID, you might find that makes you feel, it just might feel quite hard. So just be kind to yourself if it does. Okay, and I'm going to step back into a little lunge, hips facing forwards, feet on parallel train tracks, hugging the belly button in. So if anyone happens to be watching this on catch up and haven't been before, this is a beginner's strength class, but what I do is over a period of 12 weeks, I start with going back to basics and then I gradually build on that. So we're about week 9 now. So there are some basics in there, but all of them I'm playing with a little bit now. And but if at any time it feels like it's too much, just come back to a squat or a lunge or march on the spot until there's something that you feel like you can do. Now we're going to hold that lunge. This is still part of that warm up. If you need to hold on to something, that's absolutely fine. Hugging the belly button in gently, reaching the arms up and forwards and up, and forwards and up. And if you are watching on catch up and there's ever something you feel like you'd like me to explain more, or you're not clear on and you can't get it here live, then please just Just falling over. I can't talk and do this at the same time. And then switch to the other side. So holding that lunge, maybe holding on to something. Reach the arms up. Forwards, we open up the front of the body. Yes. So tag me in the Facebook group. If you've got any questions or queries, little side to side sway. And I'll see if I can help. You never know. That's what we're all here for, isn't it? Harley Street Home. Arms out to the side. What makes us different to a plug and play exercise program? Okay, we're feeling good. Are we feeling like strong? Oops, sorry. Strong and powerful. It's drizzling now, so I'm just trying to move everything out from the drizzle. We're feeling like strong and powerful women. Just finding my exercise plan. Harley Street. Oh, it wasn't the right one. There. Okay. So I'm going to talk us through round 1, and then we'll do rounds 2 and 3 with a timer so that we kind of keep moving forwards, and perhaps I don't talk as much, I'm not quite as boring. So if you want to use weights for this one, for those of you who've been with me a while, who are using weights, I would get fairly light ones, because we're going to be pulling, we're using some of the smaller muscles around our shoulders and arms. Yeah, that looks perfect there, Sam. Yeah, looking good. Awesome. And tin cans are absolutely perfect, but no weights are necessary either. So again, Nicola, just see how you go. Okay. So the first one, I'm gonna stand in, is a squat with a little overhead press. So if you don't have the weights, you might just reach up. So I'll show you first without the weights, actually. So those of you who don't have them. So we're going to sit back into that squat as if we're sitting down on a chair. We're going to exhale, and we're going to push up, wrists facing forwards above our head. And then we're going to come back down again and up. Now, if you don't have weights, you can add a little bit extra to this by going up onto your toes, but only if that's within what your feet and ankles like to do. We do have the weights. We keep the wrists facing forwards. Lovely big exhale, lifting up over our head, but only as far as feels comfortable. If you're noticing yourself swaying back, this is not a good thing. You're going to come up, exhale, pushing up from the toes, from the heels, all the way up above the head. Okay, it's raining now, and that wasn't part of the plan. It's not on the forecast. Very annoying. I feel like I need a little umbrella for my camera, but it seems to be okay so far. One more of those. This isn't necessarily, this one is definitely not about speed. I seem to have done that one quite a lot in the last couple of days. Okay, so that's first one, squat and press. Then the lateral lunge to a bicep curl. So I'm going to show you without the weights first. So we're stepping out to the side. Camera will follow me, right? No, it's not following me anymore. It's given up. You going to follow me? No. Okay. So first one, we're going to step out to a lateral lunge, coming down, and then back up into a bicep curl. So even without the weights, you just hold your hands out to fist. Then we're going to go the other way. I seem to have some bamboo in the way. Down and then up. With those weights in our hands, we just need a little bit, make sure we pay extra attention to hugging that belly button in, so we're hinging forwards. We've got a lovely strong back and core. Don't want that lower back to be being pulled down. Exhale on the way up, little tiny biceps. Why I'm saying fairly light weights for this one, because I'm asking you to do 2 things at once. And let's face it, we're all wonderful multitaskers. And I don't want that to mean that you lose the attention to where your body is in space. So we're pushing off from that sideways. Heel into the middle. And you might notice using that upper and lower body really starts to get that heart rate up. We're feeling good? Okay, I need some thumbs up, ladies. Oh, you've got weights in your hands. I suppose that's a bit trickier, isn't it? Okay. Okay, and now this one, if you've got weights, you might want to reconsider. We'll see. I'm going to go with these. We're going to come into a curtsy squat. So I'm bringing one foot behind. How far behind I bring it? Kind of will depend a little bit on my hips and my knee. So you might, if your knee feels a bit vulnerable doing this, you might just prefer to bring the foot slightly behind and dip down. Or if you're in a full-on curtsy, we're kind of coming behind and down. And then when we're on our way up, we're pushing back up from that forward heel and coming up to a lateral raise, so arms out horizontal. This is where you might want to switch weights for tin cans. This is getting your lateral deltoids, and they can be quite small, particularly. So Sam, really test that one out and see how your shoulder feels. Yeah, looks good. Use a big exhale on the way up. But for those who might have had shoulder issues in the past, this movement is important, but not putting it up. And as I said, and you might find you're better off just sticking with that curtsy squat, just concentrating on that. We're still bringing that weight down behind us. And down and up. One more on each side. I could say something ridiculous about party dress season and sculpted arms, but I'm not going to, because that's a ridiculous thing to say. But it suddenly made me remember something I remember being in my circuit training class about a gazillion years ago. I remember saying from about November onwards. There's always a reason, isn't there? The only reason is to feel strong and powerful in my book. Okay, so now if you've got a resistance band, we could bring that one in. If not, we're just bringing our hands over our heads, gently pulling them to a fist, and we're pulling down, making a W. But we're adding in a lunge. So feet are on train tracks. I'm going to step one foot back, back knee comes down, pull down. So can you see my elbows make a nice W? We're trying to engage into that latissimus dorsi just a little. I'm trying to keep our shoulders relaxed and away from our earlobes. We sometimes do end up. Oh, go away, waspy. It's the wrong time of year for wasps. So we're pulling down as if we're trying to pull our shoulder blades down into our back pockets, which is a weird thing to say, actually. Don't think about that one too much. A bit weird. Lovely, lovely. One more on each side. Nice. So you're probably feeling a bit of work around the shoulders here. Give them a little bit of a wriggle. I haven't finished with them yet, though, mind. Next one should feel like a nice release. We're going to sit down into our, I've got an imaginary stool behind me. I'm going to sit on that, hold my squat, gently hugging my belly button. And I'm going to bring my hands into a fist. You could bring your weights with you on this one, or keep it just with the fist punching across the body. And what I want here is that rotation, we're making the obliques work, but you might feel that it gives you a little bit of a stretch in some of those places we've just been working as well. Lovely, lovely stuff. Okay. Now we're going to come down onto the floor. Will the camera follow me all the way? I meant to test that out. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to come down onto the floor and test. Yes, it does follow me. We're going to start actually lying on our backs first and then on our fronts. If any of this, oh no, we're not. We're starting standing up. Sorry, I've got core section in my head. Well, I'm not perfect. You know that, right? So basically, I just read crunch and it made and then just anyway. It's my class plan. I should know how to read it really, but there we go. First one is this, what I call a spider crunch. And this is where we imagine that might be Spider-Man, or we could be a Spider Woman. We could be climbing up a wall or climbing wherever we like. And we're bringing elbow to knee and we're rotating that knee out, opening up into the hip. Now, if that feels awful on your hip, bring it into the front and across the body. But what I'm wanting here is kind of, whoa, she says, falling over. It's kind of where with that punch across, we were lengthening kind of into the lats. We're making the obliques become part of stabilizing us. I actually want the obliques to work here. A little squeeze on either side. Now we're getting down onto the ground. So we're going to come down first of all onto our backs into a hip bridge. One of my absolute favorite exercises. I have a tendency to do it more in the summer than in the winter. Okay, yes, you can still see me. So knees are down, knees are facing up into the air, feet are down on the ground. Pelvis is kind of part of leading this movement. So I'm going to tilt my pelvis so that it's like I'm trying to flatten my back, push my heels down into the floor, start to push my knees away, squeeze into my glutes and gently come up so I'm resting between my shoulder blades but nowhere near my neck. Yeah, just your hands down on the ground or up in the air, and then we're going to slowly come back down again. So you might want to take a deep breath in, push through the heels, tilt the pelvis, squeeze the glutes, coming back up, and then lowering yourself back down with control. This first time we're keeping it really nice and slow, giving our back a little massage, trying to pay attention to those individual vertebrae as we lift off and back down again, noticing which part of the spine might feel a little bit stiff. Definitely my lower lumbar spine is just kind of flops itself down. Need some work there. So one more of those, pushing through the heels, tilting the pelvis, squeezing into the glutes, and then lowering back down. Now we're going to come over onto our hands and knees for our Superwoman, which we've been doing for the last few weeks. So hands are underneath. The part of the challenge here is getting from your back to your front, right? Your core is inevitably involved. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, hugging the belly button in towards the spine. Exhale. If you haven't done these before, I always say start with one limb at a time. If you're feeling confident here, opposite limbs, but we're not flailing. We are moving them with control. We have an imaginary box of eggs resting on the back of our pelvis, and we don't want it to fall off because that's a real mess to clean up. And in my case, we'll detract the mass. So exhale to extend. We don't want the back legs to be coming up too high and causing too much pressure on the lower spine. And we create the space to extend the legs by pushing opposite hand and knee into the ground. Okay. Now, definitely lost my box of eggs. So now we're going to come to the plank, which we've been doing for the last couple of weeks. If a plank isn't for you, then coming back onto your feet into like a high knee march just while we do this bit so that you stay moving. But I know that for lots of people, shoulders, backs, necks wrists don't feel happy with a plank. But I quite like to do it. It's lovely to feel the progress. And sometimes we need that sense of progress. So we're going to come down, starting in that position on our hands and knees. I'm going to get our timer involved here. And we've been working our way up. We're going up to 30 seconds today. First time round, we will just do that once. So what I like to start with, hands are positioned nice under my shoulders, pushing through my fingers, bringing some length to the back of my leg, hugging the belly button in. Take a deep breath in and exhale to extend that other leg long. And we're creating length in the back of the body. Shoulder blades tucked down the back, just like they are in that hinge, in the Superwoman. Hugging the belly button gently in towards the spine, but breathing nicely. There we go. Or marching on the spot is fine if it helps you go. Okay, we've got 6 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, and oh, lovely. Okay, well done, team. Give your wrist a little bit of a wriggle. It does put a bit of pressure on the wrist. Are we all feeling good? Yeah, I've now warmed up. Now I feel like I've got too many clothes on. Okay, this is why I need a high sheet at home jumper that I can take off. I need to actually mention that to somebody. Okay, right. Anyone remember what we did first? Who knows? Squat to reach up or shoulder press. Let me find my little buzzer, my little Harley Street at home buzzer. That's not it. That's it. Okay, so we're going to start with that squat and reach. So it can be a reach with your hands, or we can turn it into a shoulder press with your weights in your hands. And we're going to feel fabulous doing it. Okay, so remembering our lovely setup, hugging that belly button in. We're going to sit back and down, exhale, pushing up through the heels, all the way up the body, all the way up. Exhale, all the way up. Nicely done. Lovely stuff. I like this one because you can feel slightly heroic, loving the tin cans all the way through lockdown. There was this one client who was using the same tins of custard, and we always had a joke about whether or not when she was got lateral lunge to bicep curl, whether or not she was going to celebrate the end of lockdown by eating the custard. But then when we went back to outdoor classes, she brought her tin right at the beginning, where I asked people to bring their own equipment. She brought her own tin cans of custard. So now I think they're a memento of lockdown, remembering to keep that back nice and strong by gently hugging in the belly button, using a big exhale, put a little hinge forwards, pushing back up to the center from the heel. 3, 2, 1. And then we've got the curtsy, I think, next, haven't we? Well, this isn't letting me see that. Yeah, curtsy to lat raise. So curtsy squats to lateral raise. Curtsy. And up. Lovely, lovely. Remembering if that curtsy feels like it's too much pressure on the knee, just do a little step back. If this feels too much on your shoulders, drop the weights. And we just take the shoulder through that range of motion. We still use the same muscles. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we're coming into our lunge with a pull down, arms up above the head. We lunge backwards, feet are parallel. Pull down. And then all of us comes back up to the top. The added benefit here being by holding our arms up above the body, that adds to the work on our core here as well. So we could use, if you're using a scarf or a pair of tights, you might just want to hold them with a bit of tension, but without the pull down. Or you might end up throttling yourself. Tights can sometimes work, depends on just how stretchy they are. But equally, just with the arms. Okay, and then we're dropping everything for that squat hold with a punch. Hugging that belly button in, imaginary bar stool underneath me, punching across the body. Lovely stuff. Yeah, definitely. It's so mild, it's crazy. I was teaching a class outside at 6:30, and by the time I'd done the warm-up, I and a couple of others were in t-shirts. Like, it's November, it's bonkers. Okay, now we're coming to the spot. We're not down on the mats yet, but we nearly are. We're into a spider crunch. So elbow to knee, opening up into the hip, and remembering that if this doesn't feel like you can bring the elbow and knee across the front of the body, which still has the impact of getting your core working and engaged. Trying to work out what that bird is chatting. Seems like a bit of a defensive cry. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, and the storms have finally got rid of the last apple on the tree. Okay, we're coming down onto our backs, briefly into a hip bridge. So arms can be up or down on the ground, pushing through the heels, tilt the pelvis, coming up. And then we're going to stay up here for a couple of pulses, just 3. So that's not a couple, that's 3. And then lower back down. Deep breath in, exhale, tilt the pelvis, coming back up here. If you feel like it's something that you can do that's not crunching your back, 3 little pulses and then lower back down. Otherwise, just stick to a regular hip bridge. Squeezing into those glutes. 3, 4, and then gently lowering back down. And then we, as elegantly as we can, we come onto our hands and knees. Hugging the belly button in, core nice and strong, extending out, paying attention to the front of the body, reaching out with opposite arm and leg, or just sticking to one arm at a time, one leg at a time. I think I just lost my eggs then, so I wasn't paying attention. Hugging the belly button in, not lifting that back leg too high here. And wanting us to create and maintain stability, which is a great way to help our body know what we want it to do in that plank as well. 3, 2, 1. Give your wrists a little wriggle if you're planking. If you're not planking, come up and march on the spot, stay moving. The rest of us, we start here, one limb out in front, big exhale, pushing through the fingers, creating space in the front of the body, feeling the line from the back of the head to the heels, nice and strong. Halfway, guys. There we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Little rest. Give your wrists a wriggle. We're just doing 1 30-second plank, and we will do 2 at the end of the third round, mainly so I don't put too much pressure on your wrists. Okay, round 2 is done. Are we ready for round 3? We ready? Are we dancing? Pippa is ready. Sam is adjusting. Oh, Ali is definitely ready. And she started her Christmas shopping, so she's basically winning today. while she waits for her parcels to be delivered. Okay, so squat and press with or without the weights or tin cans. Okay, so we're sitting back down into our squat, all the way up, keeping the wrist facing forwards. And it's like the weights are drawing a line past my ear and straight up. Nice control. We're not flinging things around here. No matter what those big beefy bros do in the gym, we've got it all under control, right? Don't mess with us. 2 and 1. Lovely. Then we've got that lateral lunge to a bicep curl. Going out, stepping out, sitting back into that heel. Exhale, push up from the heel to the toe, to the center, into a bicep curl. Out to the side. Exhale. Now, I don't tend to do bicep curls very much as an isolated exercise because I'm not sure how useful they are. But strong biceps are helpful, but only if you also have strong everything else. But for this one, for making the upper and the lower body work at the same time, I like that one. It always feels like it's over quite quickly, which is always nice. Okay, so now we've got that curtsy squat, which is probably the hardest one. So we're stepping behind, down into a curtsy, exhale on our way up, lateral raise. Stepping back into a curtsy, exhale up, lateral raise. Here comes, please don't rain. Lovely. Aren't we brilliant? Great stuff. 5, 4, 3, 2. Thank goodness for that, is what I say to that one. And then we've got that lunge with a pull down. Uh-oh. That wasp just went in the hut, so I'm gonna have to rescue it later. So lunge back, pull down. Oh, another one went in. Where are they all coming from? Anyone else got wasp issues? I'm gonna have to find somebody who studies wasps to let me know why it is. But they are obsessed with buzzing around in November. It is raining. Keep going. We've got 5 seconds left. I just need to move the camera out of the rain. Oh, it looked like it was looking right up my nose then. I'm here, camera. Okay. Right, rest. We've got that squat and punch, sitting back into a squat. We're punching across, sitting on an imaginary bar stool. Somehow that works for me. Like, I don't know why I'd be sitting on a bar stool trying to swing punches at somebody. Imagine me in some kind of crazy Western. Sorry. Jill, that seems to have distracted you somewhat. Uh-oh. Laughter is all part of exercise though, isn't it? It's a very good core exercise, laughing. There we go. And rest. Also very good for your hormones. Very good for your hormones. Laughter. Sometimes hard to access when the world feels a little bit nuts. And our hormones are going a bit nuts too. So spider crunching, but remember we can cross the front of the body if that feels more like something our bodies are comfortable with. Elbow to knee. 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. What's next? Oh yes, now we're down on the ground. I am not sure if I'm going to put the camera back down here again because I don't know if it'll follow me from the angle. I just put it in. Are you coming with me, camera? So we're starting on our backs, starting down on our backs, feet on the floor, hands up to the sky or not. Deep breath in, pushing into our hip bridge. And this time we're going to stay here and just lift one heel and then the other, one heel and then the other, and then we're going to lower ourselves back down. But again, if you prefer, just stick with the regular old hip bridge. So by just lifting one heel off the ground, we create a little bit more instability. It's a little bit more of a need for the stabilizing muscles to engage and do their thing. And down. And the buzz is about to go. I'm giving my wrists a little bit of a wriggle as I come across into my Superwoman. Hands underneath the wrists, gently hugging the belly button in towards the core, extending opposite arm and legs out, keeping the hips level. Oops. Lovely stuff. Hugging the belly button in, that was a reminder to myself. Get lost in thought, completely forget what it is that I'm doing. 10 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So sit back on your heels, give your wrists a little bit of a wriggle before we come to a plank, or come up into a high knee march. Find your position, hands underneath the shoulders, gently engaging the core, shoulder blades down the back. Deep breath in, we're going to step back into that plank. Using the buzzer to count us down for 30 seconds. Pushing through the fingers takes a little bit of pressure off the wrists. Okay. We've got 10 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A little rest. And then, if you'd like to go again, giving yourself the wrist a little bit of a wriggle. If you'd like to go again, I will count you through that. If not, that's absolutely fine. Okay, if that feels like that's enough on your wrists or on your shoulders, that's absolutely fine. But that second one is a really nice way of going, okay, body, I can do it. Or for getting a very cute spaniel to jump on you. That's the other option, isn't it, Jill? Okay, so let's find our position again. Core nice and strong, pushing that one heel away, feeling our way into a nice long straight back line. Deep breath in. We're going to push our way up to a nice strong plank. Hands are underneath the shoulders, rocking that belly button in, pushing the heels away slightly so we create that length. You might want to squeeze into your glutes. Got 10 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done, team. That was 2 minutes of planking today. So you get a special prize. You get to decide what the prize is. I've got an imaginary gold star that I might be wearing for the rest of the day. Give the wrist a bit of a wriggle. I'm just going to come onto our back just to stretch out a little. I should have started on the front. Oh well, here we are. So let's just start by crossing one ankle over the other knee. Gently bring that knee up. If you prefer to do this sitting on a chair, do that. That works. Still gets a great stretch and sometimes be more comfortable. And release. Bring the knee up. On the other side for a nice stretch. And then I am going to get you to roll over onto your fronts if you're comfortable. Still keeps our core working, right? Rolling onto our fronts. Grab one foot if you can, or wrap something around it. Bring a heel in towards the knee. No, don't bring the heel towards the knee. That would break your leg. Bring the heel towards the bum. Gently nudge the pelvis forward on that side. See if you can find some length in the quadriceps in the front of the thigh. And then rest. So that's giving me a very muddy hand. And then the other side. Oh, can't get either one today. Bring that heel in. And nudge the pelvis down, just find that length. Then I'm going to get you to come back, if you're comfortable. Come back, sitting back, bum towards the heels. Mine doesn't get all the way there. Arms out in front into child's pose, just to give our lower back a little bit of a stretch. And then we're going to walk. So when I've got my right hand, I'm walking around to my right hand side. And when I get to a point where I feel like I've got a nice stretch, I put my left hand on top of my right and just gently lean into that. And then walking over to the other side. Do the same. Wonderful stuff. Okay. Oops. Hello, camera. Gonna talk to me? I'm not sure the camera's looking at me anymore. It's like, stop moving around, woman. Right. Well done, us. Gold star. Another thing to congratulate yourself on. You congratulate yourself for turning up, and then you congratulate yourself for being at the end. So there we go. I've got two lots of congratulations already. You've only got to think of one more. Okay, little squeeze. Well done. Squeeze the shoulders and bring one arm gently across the body. We're feeling good now. I'm feeling good. You feeling good? Oh, thank you, Sam. That's good to know. A little thumbs up from behind your stretch. A little squeeze on the other side. And then gently reach that arm across. And a reminder for those of you that want to, after the class on the 24th or 5th of November, 24th, 25th, we're going to have a little coffee afterwards. So if you've got time, sit around and have a chat and a coffee or a cup of tea or a glass of water. Then we'll have about 45 minutes after the class, which is just a nice way of us getting to know each other and congratulate ourselves on a year of looking after ourselves well. Clasp the hands in front, drop the head down, wriggle the shoulder blades apart and take the biggest breath you've taken all day into the back of your ribs. And then exhale. And then we're going to take our arms behind us and take a breath into the front of the body. And then exhale slowly. Well done, team. We made it through another week nearly. It's Friday tomorrow. We're all brilliant, basically, aren't we? I will see you soon. Farewell. Goodbye.